All right, we have a playable character here today, someone who can critically think in a sea of non-playable characters. We have Mr. Alladan Flinn here today, the creator of Bitcoin Trading Cards, one of my good friends, to talk about what's going on in Bitcoin, but also what's going on in the Orange Pill adoption world and the mission of the Bitcoin Trading Cards company. So appreciate having me, brother.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. It's been a long time waiting for this.
I know.
Super
I know.
happy to do this with you.
You're just a busy guy, so it's always a struggle getting people on here, but we're out on Unconfiscatable in Las Vegas. What's your thoughts of the conference and kind of how everything was gone so far? It's not Bitcoin Miami, Bitcoin Nashville type of event, and that's not what it's supposed to be. It's here to build relationships. But what has been your thoughts of the conference so far?
No, this is the smallest conference I've ever been to, and I like it possibly the most, just for that reason, to where we can really connect with each other, have good conversations. It's not so rushed that you have to kind of push through and jump to the next conversation so quickly. So I've really been enjoying that part of it. Getting to hang out with everyone afterwards is great. Been able to really connect with a lot of the Bitcoiners that I've met throughout the other conferences, but everyone kind of scatters, where this one, we all kind of scatter together in the same place, which is great. So it's been wonderful.
More cohesive,
yeah,
right?
It is.
Like it's more, I don't know, friendly is the right word, but it's more cohesive. People are doing things together, so it's fun. And we talk about all the time, community is the number one thing in a survival situation, right? It's not Bitcoin, it's not gold, it's not food, it's not water, it's community.
Yeah.
And that's the number, it's people, knowing your neighbor.
Well, there's a difference between running a booth and being an attendee. When you're an attendee, you get to walk around and have those conversations. There's no set agenda that you're on to where you have to be somewhere. So for me, it's been really rough at the conferences because running a booth takes so much time and energy that
he sends me out.
Exactly.
So I'm one of the guys running around, so he can be behind the booth.
So being able to enjoy the times with each other afterwards, and again, not be scattered all over the place. Majority of the people you're hanging out with here, we're hanging out with afterwards.
Yes,
it's been great.
So true. So talk about Bitcoin trading cards a little bit. Brief. Since this is the first time, really kind of coming on, and even on the YouTube channel, stuff like that, we haven't necessarily had you on to really kind of give a minute or two of like how the cards came about, and really, people kind of think, hey, people do throw it together and it happens, and you've been working on this for years. So give us a couple minute, 2 minute rundown of kind of how everything kind of came together, and what's been involved in getting this out only a year in.
Yeah.
And some incredible things already happening. PSA grading, some just wild things happening, in just 1 year in. But it wasn't just a year of doing it. There was years leading up to that. So I'd love for you to touch on that, kind of how it's come together.
Absolutely. Yeah, it evolved into something that was highly unexpected. I was imagining that when I created this, that there wasn't really going to be a lot of collectability to it. I figured it would be mainly just a great way to orange pill people. So like, where did the idea come from? It was talking to my friends and family, talking to so many people about Bitcoin, and I guess screwing up multiple times and trying to figure out how to make this work. And it's so difficult to orange pill people. I think any Bitcoiner out there that has attempted it, I'm sure there's some successful people out there that orange pill friends and family, but it's very hit and miss.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of conversations. I mean, me and you have talked about this many times. It's not an easy task. No. So that's where these trading cards came in, was to create something where you can start the conversation in a really fun way, but not have to go down rabbit holes, not have to dig into all the red pill and orange pill topics that come into it, because it just leads you into very long conversations. So for example, you want to teach your cabbie about Bitcoin real quick. Well, unless it's a long cab ride, you're not going to have a big opportunity to do that. And then you never know. You start throwing out those red pill topics. He could end up driving and just dropping you off on the corner of the road somewhere. So the trading cards are a great way to open up the introduction to Bitcoin with somebody, hand them a pack, and just let them kind of figure out on their own. It's been working really well here as well. Any of the bartenders, everywhere we go, I have handfuls of packs with me, and I just hand them out. And even if I don't have, for example, you have a bartender and they don't have a whole lot of time. They're on the clock, so they don't want to sit there and necessarily get into a big conversation with you, because they really can't. They're on the clock. So you can talk to them about Bitcoin, maybe give them a 30-second elevator pitch, and then hand them a pack of trading cards with a big smile on your face. It's just a really fun way to open that window for people and let them kind of take off on their own.
So speaking of that window, the amount of I would love for you to touch on the impact, or what it feels like maybe, but just seeing people opening the packs. I mean, it's young kids up to gray haired, the gray hairs, like it's everyone. When they open the pack, the smile on their faces, and it's people from America, it's people from, we have a video from Julian with the kids in Peru opening them, and they're just going nuts. What is it like to see that, I guess, your artwork and just things that you created and working on for years kind of come together, and people from literally all spectrums, all genders, all races, all languages, and people are just like, oh wow, like, this is unbelievable. Like, what does that feel like, watching people open those packs and seeing those looks on their faces?
Honestly, it's so big for me because it was so unexpected. It's really hard for me to digest. My ultimate dream was that more than anything. Julian and Peru opening the packs for the children, that moment right there for me, one of the top highlights of this whole entire year that we've been at this. And I believe this is just the beginning, but just to digest how incredible these moments are is really hard, because we're moving so quickly that I can't stop, and really I want to drive to the ocean and
It's hard
just
to smell the roses.
yeah, sit for the day, watch a couple of these videos and just think deeply. But my schedule is so crazy that hopefully one of these days I can slow down a little bit to have that moment to really digest it, because it's unbelievable. And that's probably why I can't digest it, because it is absolutely unbelievable and bigger than I could have ever dreamed. If it would have happened over a 5-year span, then I could slowly digest it, but happening so quickly, it's a miracle, to be honest.
It is. It's like it's shock, like you said, because you worked on it for years, launched it a year ago, just over a year ago now, and at Pacific Bitcoin last year, and then it's been just over a year. So it is like you said, it's just like a shock factor almost, where it's still like it's hard to take in almost, because you're like, how is this happening? Seemingly from the outside, again, it looks like it's fast. To a lot of people, it's like, wow, look at this. But it's like, I've been working on this for years, and it's a creation that you've had in your head for a long time. So in the trading cards vein, switching a little bit, what is on the horizon? Obviously, we're about to enter 2024, of things that have happened in 2023 that have been great, and things that they're going to lead into 2024. But what's on tap for Bitcoin trading cards? And really, again, a huge adoption tool, like you said earlier. And we've always talked about the unofficial. You said this in a talk we had, I don't know, 9 months ago or something like that. I remember right where I was actually driving, right by the Flint Bishop International Airport, and I was having the conversation, and you said something profound, and it was basically, which is the official mission of the Bitcoin trading cards, which is making things fun and easy that are hard to talk about. Making things fun and easy that usually make you want to cry. That was your words, and I was just like, dude, that's it. Like that's the mission. So what is on the horizon here for people helping their friends and family? They don't know how to talk to somebody. Going into 2024, going into this bull run, all these things having all these things that are coming forward, using these tools. What can people expect going 2024 and beyond for what Bitcoin trading cards is going to give them, giving them those tools? How is that looking going forward here?
So I'm hoping this becomes like the first touch point for so many people in Bitcoin. Over the last few weeks, I've kind of been building this new idea. As we grow this, there's so many different things coming so quickly, but I've been having the idea of the fact, especially with so many people that I talk to about Bitcoin all the time that know nothing about Bitcoin. We just orange-pilled an artist on the street the other night, and it took us about 2 hours of sitting there setting up his wallet, paying him, getting everything going, which was amazing and fun, but it was 2 hours. And one of the things he said to me is, he goes, well, this is incredible. I can't believe like it's this easy and it's this fast. And most people downloading a wallet and sending your first Bitcoin transaction, receiving your first Bitcoin transaction, and then he needed to pay bills. So he goes, well, thank you for the Bitcoin, but I need to like literally pay my rent. Am I able to take this Bitcoin and cash it out right now? Because most people think that they hold Bitcoin. They buy Bitcoin or get it paid in Bitcoin. Now, what do they do with it? They just have to sit and hold it until some later date down the road, which that's what you're hoping for, and that's what you're trying to teach them. But this guy needed to pay his rent. So we said, do you have Cash App? And he goes, yeah, I have Cash App. So we, within that short amount of time, had him send some of his Bitcoin that we paid him over to his Cash App. We walked him through it. He cashed out his Bitcoin right there on the spot, turned it into USD, and he goes, it's that easy. So that's what we're hoping with these cards. So we have so many people that relate Bitcoin to NFTs, to cryptocurrency. I mean, us as Bitcoiners, we know the difference, but honestly, the vast majority of people are, they call Bitcoin crypto, and everything is this together, and they don't see the difference. And that as Bitcoiners, we're always talking about that. But we need to start somewhere. And if we come off and try to give them the ultimate push right away, then it's too much too quick. But I do think that these cards are going to be great for the people that are going, okay, I see what's happening with Bitcoin, and they say crypto and NFTs and this hype and this pump and everything. I would love to invest in it. Excuse me, but I don't know how to download a wallet. I don't have someone that I know personally that can walk me through Bitcoin. It's all too much. I'm not going to do it. Where thank God on the shitcoins and NFTs that maybe they don't jump into that right away and figure it out. If hopefully if they're really smart and they don't want to gamble, never. But they need a touch point. They need something where they can say, I invested into Bitcoin, or I'm playing in the Bitcoin realm. And that's a pack of trading cards. It's that simple. There's nothing digital. There's nothing technical. You're literally buying a pack of trading cards, which the majority of people across the world, if they haven't bought them for themselves, they bought them for their kids. At some point, they've seen trading cards. It's worldwide. So if they can literally just buy a pack of Bitcoin trading cards, now they are a part of the ecosystem. Now they are, in a way, they're off zero. They have some piece of Bitcoin that they are now in. And the moment they start reading these cards, they're going to read all the reasons why we're into Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. So I'm really hoping that we can push this out in a way that we can become that touch point. We will never be the ones to take you from point A to point Z. We just want to be point A. And then from us, that's why we have the Warriors in the cards. That's why we have the athletes and all the other people. Brandon is going to be in Series 3. So
Series 3, baby.
So
Pick one athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. So all these amazing touch points and the education that we can give them, it's literally just Cliff Notes. Mm-hmm. So that's all we're trying to do. We are not the end all. We are literally just that first touch, get you started, and hopefully trigger something that makes you want to learn more. Then you're going to flip through, you're going to find Brandon, you're going to find Greg Foss, you're going to find all these CJ Wilson, all these amazing people in Bitcoin that are going to take you to that next level and the next level and the next level. So hopefully I'm not going to put a date. Let's say hopefully as the next bull run really starts pushing out and you have people all over the world hearing on mainstream media now, oh, Bitcoin is good now, the price is going up. The big boys have bought in their Bitcoin over the bull or over the bear market. So you guys can get in now. And at that point, they're going to be looking for a way to get in. And the sad thing is the majority of people are probably going to go towards the altcoins and everything else because it's easier point of entry to them specifically because they're going, oh, I can own 10,000 of this cryptocurrency. And if I buy Bitcoin, I can only own a little piece of Bitcoin. So I talk to people all the time about Bitcoin. That's their number one. Because they don't have the time. Most of the
He's not lying. He does talk to people all the time. Whenever we're out there doing anything, you're always orange pilling people. Probably more than anyone I've ever seen.
A lot of it too is it's feedback for the cards.
It is, yeah.
So it's trying to create these in a way where we're thinking through everything, and if we don't get the general public's constant feedback, constant ideas. I mean, just talking to the artist on the street the other night, I'm like mental notes like crazy, and all of this is building in me for going, okay, now I just got all kinds of other ideas for how we're going to launch the next series and everything else. So we need to constantly, as Bitcoiners, be trying over and over again to talk to people about Bitcoin, because the only way we're going to learn the method to properly orange pilling someone is to constantly try it over and over until we figure out that pitch that works.
And again, I've told you this before, but you're so good at building community, but also having your ear to the ground. And it's the Bitcoiners' way of, stay humble, stack sats. And that's the humility lies in that. You're trying to get feedback all the time. You do such a great job of that. In closing here in the next couple of minutes, what is the, we talked about some of the stuff that's coming on the horizon here. But what can people expect when it comes to, we just alluded to Series 3 a little bit and stuff like that. Is there anything you can kind of touch on maybe that people, any Bitcoiners out there or pre-coiners, what they can kind of expect in Series 3? I know we mentioned PSA maybe offline. I don't know if we did here yet, but anything like that you can kind of touch on some of the big, big things that are exciting things that are happening in this as we be going into this bull run here.
Absolutely. So for me, it's really hard. I've got so many amazing things happening with this project right now, but the last thing I want to do is be a hype person. It's the opposite of what we're trying to do. So until we actually get verified proof of the amazing things that we've been able to accomplish and things that are in the works, but they're solidified, like PSA. We've been working on this for 6 months. Lots of people have been asking for it. The chances to get PSA in under 2 to 5 years is nearly impossible. We had a 1% chance because it had never been done before. So I would tell people I'm working on it, but when they're going, well, what do you think? Are we going to get it? When are we going to get it? I couldn't give them any answers because the chances of us actually getting it anytime soon are slim to none. So until we actually solidified it, we got it, it's live on PSA. We had many conversations over a 6-month period of it looks like we've got it, but I didn't tell anyone that we actually had it until we have it. Because again, I don't want this to be a hype project in any way. So now, yeah, we have PSA. It's done. We're on their website. It's incredible. It literally validates this project as being a true trading card project. Now, like, the validity that we got from PSA gives us the opportunity to step into so many normie realms, so many realms in the hobby, to prove that we are not just a fly-by-night, we're an actual verified project. And we obviously did it right, because if we wouldn't have, there's no way we could have got PSA in under a year. As far as my research and some friends that are really big in the hobby, their research has never been done in under a year before. So we literally just broke the record for PSA point of entry, which is incredible. So a lot of other things on the horizon. The biggest thing I can say is everything we come out with, we're putting our heart and soul into it. Brandon is on the team. He's helping every day with me. We're not cutting any corners. We want these to be the most amazing trading cards in the world. Everything we do is within the Bitcoin ethos. And Bitcoin is the most amazing technology and the most incredible money that's ever been created. So being Bitcoin trading cards, it's in our name. If we don't do it 100% right, then we're not doing Bitcoin justice. We're not doing the world justice with what we're trying to do with this project to get people to understand how important this is. So next year is going to be a wild ride. You can buy these cards for many reasons. You can buy them because you like collecting trading cards. You can buy them because you love the art. You can buy them to get your kids into them, because if you're buying Pokemon cards or any of these other ones, they're literally
I was just gonna ask you about Magic the Gathering to kind of wrap your Pokemon and kind of some of those big goals that are out there.
Yeah, they're printed like the Federal Reserve. Literally, on average, 1 billion packs a year, just Pokemon alone. Think of that, 1 billion packs a year. There's almost 9 billion people on the earth?
Yeah, that's great.
Eight?
Yeah.
Okay, so almost not even 8 billion people on the earth, and they print 1 billion packs a year. And one of the years we were looking at, they printed close to 5 billion packs a year. That means 50 billion cards.
And we've had incredible feedback from a lot of people that have worked with those companies and said this is potential to be even bigger than those, right? So I mean,
we're proving scarcity. So
Yes,
not just in the Bitcoin,
in the collector's world, in the hobby world.
It's literally going to start hopefully teaching these kids about scarcity and getting them to understand that, hey, these cards are cool if you want to buy them because you like the art and you want to play the game. Do it, have at it. But if you're buying these as an investment, it really is like this parallel to altcoins and cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. There's so many parallels between these trading cards that they're going to learn. And if we can teach them that buying Pokemon and a lot of these other cards that are printed like that is literally like buying cryptocurrency. You're getting into, could you even call it an asset when they're printing that many of them? So you're taking a big risk, you're gambling, and your odds of winning are slim to none, and you're trusting this massive company that has already proven that they print like the Federal Reserve. So with our cards, we're proving scarcity right out the bat. Even if you're not learning off of the cards right away, you're learning scarcity. And what's the first thing you need to know, really, to understand Bitcoin and why it's so important? Scarcity. So if we can teach that before anything else, then that's pushing them down the rabbit hole. That's literally like, bye-bye, you're going down the rabbit hole and you're on your way to becoming a Bitcoiner.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so
Absolutely,
much,
brother,
for coming on, and just so excited for the things that are coming forward for really in the world. And that's why, like we said, coming to these conferences, if you're all into freedom, liberty, whatever, property rights, Bitcoin at all, sound money. I mean, this is where it's at. Bitcoin trading cards, obviously a huge tool to orange pill people, and literally the orange pill in the pack, and to get people excited about something that helps their life. I mean, their family, everything. Yeah. So again, thank you, brother, for bringing me on this ride, just everything in this journey in so many ways.